quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawfirm.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, my friend. Happy Tuesday.
Yay.
Yay. It's freezing.
And we didn't have our storm.
No, but it got cold out. Cold.
Cold.
My blood is southern now. So
my gosh.
My husband calls me 2 degree Debbie. So there's 2 degrees where I'm comfortable. But no, it got a little chilly, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Yep.
People are anxious for fall. It was in the 90s last week. I mean, one day we were talking before the show about an event we went to Charlotte at the Truist Field, and it was probably one of the hottest September days.
Yes.
And just walking around there.
Well,
But
we had a nonprofit get together here in Lake Norman that didn't have any air, and it was really hot.
Really hot. So we're probably happy to have some of the cooler weather going. What's going on? I know you had a bad week last week.
I did.
But I hope that things have turned up on the better side for you.
Yeah, well, I've got all my kids back home again.
Good.
And sort of settling back into what they do best.
Getting getting busy season. And I know you have something to look forward to this afternoon. You're doing your Zoom Tale.
Zoom Tales.
So tell our listeners, what is that?
Well, when COVID started, we were going to have our 50th high school reunion.
Wow.
Or 60th. 60th. And, of course, we couldn't do it. So I said, well, let's do Zoom Tales. And they all said, what's a Zoom Tale? And I said, Zoom. Nobody knew what Zoom was. So I had to teach everybody how to do Zoom with a cocktail, the cocktail they could do.
So maybe you could get a job with our guest today. Since you're a technology expert, you might be needed there. But no, I'm looking forward to talking with him. Pat Millen with E2 Divide, genius organization that are taking people in our community that don't have the resources to the next level.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. I did go to Bailey Glen's pottery sale this Saturday.
Did you get anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Got several Christmas presents.
You're everywhere. I walked into Nina's boutique. They're like, oh, you just missed Margi. I walked in Coco. Oh, you just missed Margi. I'm like, I need to put a tracker on you to find out where you're going all the time.
Well, that'd be interesting.
That's good. It's good you're not sitting down. Keep it moving.
Well, you've got to.
That's
you've
right.
got to.
How's the blanket drive going?
I went to storage yesterday, and I think all the blankets that we collected went to a house that takes care of children.
Good.
And she took over 200.
Wow.
Blankets and dolls and stuffed animals. So
fabulous.
Something for a child to hold when they're scared.
That's amazing. Yeah. I saw the folks at the Ronald McDonald House at this event last Thursday, and I didn't know they were doing a renovation.
Yes.
An expansion and a renovation.
Yes.
So, because I said we hadn't had you on the show in a while, or nor had you come and gotten some things from you, or from me. So we need to.
Well, they have come and gotten. Yeah, Vicki was there. She always takes about 300 things.
300 things. You make that sound like that's just a little drop in the bucket.
Well, it is when you've got 3 storage units full of toys.
I know. Well, I know.
And our storage unit is called Smiles Are Us.
That's right. I've been in there before, and it does make you smile. Tell me about the Dino Open, because I know every October you pay homage to a great person.
We do. Dino, I met years ago, and he became president of Little Smiles, and it was him.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away, probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we have the Dino Open in honor of him. It's a golf tournament on October 27th at North Stone, and it's sponsored by Reese. If you've got that, could you throw it up on the screen, please? Randy Marion always sponsors it, and it's just a beautiful day, remembering everything that Dino stood for. And and making money for Little Smiles.
And then I know with that money, you go and fill those
Yes.
Toys R Us storage units.
Yeah,
back up
actually,
again.
we don't, because we use those to pay for the requests from the nurses.
Okay.
The storage units are definitely for children who are well enough to come to and pick what they want to give them an uplift if they're going through a tough time. The nurses come all the time
Okay.
and take bags of stuff.
Great.
Yeah, so that they can, like Hope House, not Hope House, but Ronald McDonald House. They put a bag, if they know the family that's coming with a son and da-da-da, they've put together bags for these kids so that when they come, they've got something right there to open and feel good.
I think that's something to be said about our community that, today we're going to learn about something that an extraordinary individual does with technology for our members of our community that don't have access to that. But this community, we've talked about it a million times, about their generosity and what they contribute, but people really don't understand. I think we take for granted our technology, our toys, our gifts that we have, that when you come to, say, a Hope House, or that you're experiencing a crisis like a family with a devastating diagnosis, that these things that we raise money for, or these opportunities that we give folks, are so impactful. They
Well,
can
you
make
know,
the difference.
Sometimes it's the littlest thing that can make the biggest difference.
Yeah. If you think about that if you've gone without so much and you have such a little request of something like a toy or a laptop or something like that, the difference that it will make in that family's
Well, and
life.
we encourage the police officers, the fire department to come, because if there's an accident and a child's involved, that blanket and stuffed animal can just calm that child down.
What's your number one requested item?
Laptops.
Well, how fabulous that we have a guest today that
And
might
I have
be
been looking
able-
forward to this for a long
that
time.
might be able to help you
Yeah.
out with that, because he's got a great story to share and tell us. And I hope that our listeners are paying attention to the impact that one story could make on a lot of people's lives.
Unbelievable.
And the work that you're doing, Margi, is phenomenal, and I appreciate it and value everything that you do and how you present it with such lightness. And it's serious situations that
It is.
you're making much happier for
Well,
families.
and I was telling somebody on Saturday, I had a room full of police officers, and I said, now, before you start, this is called selective shoplifting.
I love that.
And the one guy started to laugh. He said, "Oh, that is beautiful." I said, "Take whatever you want."
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
This is your community. This is your community
Yeah.
showing up for you and making hope happen, which we love that. We're getting ready to go on break. And when we come back, Margi's going to introduce you to today's guest here, Pat Millen with E2D. He can explain what all that means.
I know.
And what he does. But please pay attention. If you have a call, 844-STUDIO-4. Reese is on standby to take your phone call. And we love questions. I'm sure people might have a question for you, Pat. So be ready for that. And of course, if they wanted to learn more about the Dino Open, is it on your
Yes.
website?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and what's that?
LittleSmilesNC.org.
Okay, awesome. When we get back, we'll be introducing our guest today, who's just making a little bit of hope happen in our community.
A lot of hope
A
happened.
lot of hope happen. So
Keeping kids connected.
hold on. We'll be back here shortly after our station break.
Good news lives here. It's community centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, some extra clouds hanging around, but Imelda continues to work further and further away from our coast, and some drier air starts to work in. Temperatures stay cool for our Tuesday afternoon. Only in the low to mid 70s, getting drier overnight. Our sunshine will be back Wednesday. We should get back up to around 80 tomorrow, and looking at cool fall weather in the mid 70s to finish out the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawFirm.com.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville kicks the weekend off early on Thursday, October 2nd with the Thirsty Thursdays tournament. Member Happy Hour is Friday beginning at 5 p.m. and Sunday is the Oktoberfest. Call the 500 Club 704-872-9990 for more information on entertainment, golf lessons, memberships, and tea times. The Piedmont Healthcare Friday After 5 Outdoor Concert Series is in downtown Statesville. The Party Parrot Band, a tribute to Jimmy Buffett, performs at 6 p.m. This free show will be held on West Broad Street in front of Mitchell Community College. Food and beverages will be available for purchase after 5. Bring your chairs and enjoy a night of free music at Friday After 5 in downtown Statesville. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks returns on Saturday. Over 15 food trucks will be on hand with live music by Dial-Up Radio. Bring a chair and your friends along Main and Broad Streets for the Festival of Food Trucks on Saturday beginning at 5 p.m. in downtown Mooresville. NASCAR's National Series return to Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend. The Craftsman Truck Series race will be Friday. The Xfinity Series holds the Blue Cross NC 250 on Saturday, while the Cup Series races the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets and information.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, October 4th through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure! Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Shining a light on who's making a difference. It's Community Centered, hosted by Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I am proud to introduce a true Davidson graduate who has lived in the Carolinas, I believe, all your life.
Not quite.
Not quite. Well, we'll learn about that in a minute. But I want to introduce Pat Millen, the president and co-founder of E2D, which I have been really wanting to find out more about. Eliminate the digital divide. And you're a nonprofit and you're working with people who really can't afford a computer but can't be in school, can't function.
Yeah, so
without technology.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And in 2025 North Carolina, it's pretty much everybody needs to have a computer, have access to a computer. Jobs are on computers, or even if your job is not on a computer, they may expect you to respond by email or by a computer. Certainly schooling and just access to family and community and the way that people interact with one another, all of that's made possible by a computer. When we started E2D, which was back in 2013, sort of our mantra was, wouldn't it be great if every family had a computer at home? That's no longer our mantra because it's much more urgent than that. Now it's sort of like, if you don't have a computer at home, you're going to fail. You're going to struggle.
Yeah.
That's a greater imperative than wouldn't it be great? And so that's what we've been trying to do now for just over 12 years. We started in Davidson, so that is our origin story as Lake Norman, and it's grown quite a bit. Actually, E2D, which is pretty easy to understand, you got one E and two Ds, that's eliminate the digital divide. But we were actually, when we started, we were E3D. I don't know if you remember that, Debbie. We were trying to eliminate Davidson's digital divide. That was it. Living in Davidson. But after about 6 months, we did. And therefore, we had to get rid of one of our Ds because we had already eliminated all of Davidson's digital divide. There was not anyone in Davidson that didn't have a computer.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And we still try to sustain that work.
Pat, tell the origin story of how this all came to be. It's such a fascinating story. I love it.
Yeah, so it began a little over 12 years ago. My daughter, who was then 12 years old, she was a 7th grader at Bailey Middle School, just really not far from here. She came home one day and she said, "Mom, Dad, every assignment we get here at Bailey assumes that you have a computer at home to do the work. And I know that there are some kids here that probably don't have a computer. They probably can't afford it. And so they can't do their work, and that's not fair. They're coming to school an hour and a half early to try to get into the media center to catch up and do their work on a computer at school. That's not fair." And then she looked at us and she said, "What are we going to do about this?"
I love it.
I love that.
Yeah. And, for those who have kids, that sometimes your kids will throw something out there and it might go right past you. You might not even acknowledge it. But at that moment, that was that did not get past us. It hit us right squarely in the face. And so as a family, we just decided, all right, let's look into this. Let's figure out what's out there. What can we do potentially to find some solutions?
Yeah.
And that's where it all began. We started off with Davidson Elementary, and we went to the principal and said, "Hey, do you have a digital divide?" And the principal goes, "I don't know. Let me go look." So they did an assessment, and they came back a couple weeks later and said, "We think we've identified 54 families at this school that don't have computers in the home."
Yeah.
And I was coming out of a business background. I had run my own business for about 24 years prior to that. But I'm sitting there going, all right, 54 families, that's with about $300, I'll bet you we could get a used computer and get it refurbished and get the software and maybe get some internet and maybe show them how to use it. And that's $15,000. And heck, we live in North Mecklenburg. We can raise that by sundown. Let's just go ahead and do that. And we did.
Yeah.
And we thought that was pretty cool. And then we're sitting there going, all right, well, that's 54 solutions right there, but that's not sustainable. We need to do more than that. Mm-hmm. And so we just started trying to build on that idea. And how do you do that? From my reverse engineering, it's like, all right, you got to have computers and you got to have somebody that knows what to do with those computers.
Yeah.
Boy, talk about a lucky break there. So there's a guy in Davidson who has been the greatest volunteer in the history of our organization. He's a fellow by the name of Al Sudduth. He's a retired computer engineer from Duke Energy, from the nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Some people retire. What do? They play golf. They play pickleball. They do Sudoku. Not Al. Al tinkers on computers. He is absolutely so gifted. And so I went to Al and said, "Hey, if we could scrounge up a bunch of computers, do you think you could fiddle with them?" Tells you what my technology background is. And Al said, "Oh, yeah, this would be great. This would be so much fun." And so we just started trying to figure out solutions. And the first one, of course, was, where are we going to get these computers from?
Yeah.
So living in Davidson, I'm trying to do the math, trying to think like an entrepreneur. And I'm going, all right, Lowe's is about 3 miles from here, the headquarters of Lowe's, one of the largest companies in the United States. And I must know 20 people that work at Lowe's. I should go through my list and see who there is sort of highest up on the food chain.
Yeah.
And I went to a gentleman who's no longer there, but a wonderful guy named Steve Zalagi, and said, "Steve, you're the head of logistics here for one of the largest companies in the world. We're trying to help people with computers. Can you guys do anything to help us?" And he said, "I don't know. Let me go find out."
Yeah.
Came back 2 weeks later and said, "I got some good news for you. We're going to be able to give you 500 computers."
Oh, my gosh.
And not just now, but we'll give you 500 computers a year every year.
Oh,
And we're going, okay,
that's a godsend.
now we're cooking with some grease.
Yeah.
Now we got something to do. And so we went to Cornelius Elementary, and we went to J.V. Washam, we went to Huntersville, and we went to Bailey, and we went to Huff High School, and we went to Hopewell and North Meck, and we just started refurbishing those computers and getting them out to the folks that need them, and it just sort of grew and grew.
Oh,
But you had to build a team of those like-minded AL individuals that could be trained, that could have the knowledge to refurbish
That's right.
these. And because that takes a certain skill set to do that.
Yeah, that's really true. And Al has been the trainer of trainers. So you talk about an origin story. So if you fast forward a little bit, that first year, 2013, Al, largely with a little bit of help, was able to refurbish and help us redistribute 150 computers that first year. And we were so excited about that. Very proud of it. Well, now we'll do 150 every day. So we did 150.
I was going to say every week.
Well, at the end of 2013, we had done 150. We just passed our 63,000 computers that we've refurbished. But it all begins with Al. And let me tell you why. Our special sauce in doing all this work, we now have 4 computer labs in Mecklenburg County where we do this refurbishment. We hire high school kids and we bring them in and we train them.
And that's just another avenue.
And they're the ones that do the work. And we pay these kids. We pay them a lot. We pay them more than 2 times minimum wage before they even know what they're doing. But again, it all begins almost with an apostolic progression. It began with Al teaching one person how to do it.
Yeah.
Now there have been over 280 students who have come and worked in our labs. And Al is the origin for each one of those. Now we have lab supervisors that started with us when they were sophomores in high school who are now full-time professionals teaching the next group of people. Yeah.
That's wild.
It is. But it all started with one guy.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? It takes you a minute to absorb all that information.
What's your daughter doing now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I have the incredible privilege of getting to work with my daughter.
Oh.
So her name is Franny. Franny graduated from Huff, and she went to college in Ohio. She went to a college called Kenyon College. She graduated from Kenyon, and she's back in Charlotte. And she has been working for E2D for several years now. And she is our Director of Community Impact. And she's our primary grant writer, which is a big deal, as you both know.
Yeah.
So she will typically write probably 20 grants a year. And
But she's so passionate about it.
well, she's very good at it. And between that and sort of the advancements with AI, what used to take me probably a week to write a single grant, she can write a grant in a few hours.
That's amazing. We're getting ready to go on break. I know if you're listening, you probably have a million questions, right? So don't forget, you can call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4. Pat is on the standby to take your questions because I, too, have just sit here with my mouth open. Every time I hear the story about how fascinating this is about, we talk about that pebble in the lake. Here's the ripple. Hang on. We'll be right back.
Spotlight and kindness, one story at a time. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, presented by the Macintosh Law Firm on WSIC.
Well, some extra clouds hanging around, but Imelda continues to work further and further away from our coast, and some drier air starts to work in. Temperatures stay cool for our Tuesday afternoon, only in the low to mid 70s, getting drier overnight. Our sunshine will be back Wednesday. We should get back up to around 80 tomorrow, and looking at cool fall weather in the mid 70s to finish out the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Lowry Drug is a source for excellent pharmacy services. We have served the Statesville community since 1959. We have attentive customer service, a state-of-the-art compounding laboratory, and the Dispill medication packaging system that takes the work out of medication management for those using medication planners. We do it for you. Come see us at Lowry Drug in Statesville. Call 704-873-2247. Come see us.
How can we make your day spotless? Yes, I'm Andrea, owner of Spotless Cleaning. Of course, our technicians do the extras. It surprises people. Yes, baseboards, window frames, and of course, toilets. Not maids, trained technicians. Exactly. In Brazil, my grandparents taught me to live my life without guilt. Yes, more time means better, bigger life. Yes, with Spotless Cleaning, you live it. Plus, have a clean house. SpotlessCleaningNC.com.
'Tis the season. Bloom large at Drum Landscape Supply, your one-stop shop for everything you need this spring. Don't waste time running from store to store. Flowers, trees, mulch, and more. They've got you covered. Plus, they deliver. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com today.
Are you sick of running out of hot water? Whether it's in the middle of a shower or doing dishes, cold water's never fun. Say goodbye to those surprises with a Rinnai tankless water heater from GMV Energy. This energy-efficient propane-powered solution heats water instantly, so you'll never run out again. Plus, it saves money and frees up space. Propane models start at just $295 after rebates. Visit any G&V Energy location or gbenergy.com to learn more.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
Don't miss a thing. Download the WSIC News app today. WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The holiday shipping season for the Postal Service begins this weekend, and that means you'll be paying more for packages. The increases will range from 40 cents to $7. The USPS says these adjustments are part of its Delivering for America 10-year plan. The special pricing will be in effect until midnight, January 18th. Amazon is updating its Kindle lineup with its first Scribe device that has a color screen. It's among 3 new Kindle versions. The Color Scribe is also its most expensive Kindle to date, selling for $630. Plus, Amazon is also rolling out a slew of home security and TV devices as part of a renewed hardware push. Among them is a new Fire TV stick with 4K resolution that sells for $40. Markets continue to trade in a narrow range. The Dow is down a tenth, the Nasdaq is down a fraction, while the S&P is up a fraction. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
Real people making a real impact. The McIntosh Law Firm brings you community-centered, right here on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered, and our guest is Pat Millen with E2D, Eliminate the Digital Divide. Pat, I'm thinking about how broad the subject is of technology and computers, and doesn't everybody want one, and wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? But how do you prioritize the work that needs to be done? Because obviously there's a lot that goes into it. We would love to grace everyone with a laptop, but let's get serious about this. What are some of the things that you have set in place in order to make sure that these things can happen?
Well, it's difficult. There's still over 300,000 households in North Carolina that don't have a computer.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done 63,000. We're now doing between 12 and 15,000 a year. So even with what we're doing, and we're the largest refurbisher in the state of North Carolina, we can't handle everybody. And so we've had to try to segment ourselves in ways that where we think we can have the greatest amount of impact. It's a fool's errand, because anybody that needs a computer needs a computer, and
That's
to
right.
pick one over another is very difficult.
If somebody out there is in need, what's the process that they need to go through?
Well, very often, more often than not, people come to us through agencies that are already working with their particular populations.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I think makes E2D special is, like last year, just in 2024, we worked with over 170 different nonprofit agencies. Some that are serving the homeless, some that are serving affordable housing, some that are serving returning citizens, all the above. We have a woman who's actually a North Mac resident from Huntersville named Christy Cowan, who has been with us since right before COVID. And she has developed very deep relationships with so many of these organizations. And again, we can't, as E2D, just show up in a neighborhood and start handing out computers. You need to be working with the people that already have equity and trust in these communities. But what we have tried to do is, when we first started, we were just about Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, families. And we did that until we kind of got to COVID. And then COVID weirdly became our shining moment.
Mm-hmm.
As we said at the time, we had been preparing COVID our entire existence and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
But we went from, distributing maybe 1,000 computers a year to, 5,000 during COVID, and now 3 times that, presently. And again, the way we've been able to do that is through corporate donations of computers. And that is really the key that I hope this audience can hear me on. We talked about Lowe's giving us 500 computers a year. Well, they've blown through that number. They've given us over 20,000 computers. But we are now getting thousands of computers from Wells Fargo, from Truist, from Honeywell, from TIAA.
Wow, that is amazing.
Our largest this year right now will be Duke Energy. Will give us over 5,000 computers this year that we'll be able to refurbish. And again, these are astonishingly good and valuable computers.
Yeah.
Yes, they've been used for 3 years or 4 years by employees, but by the time we get them back, get them through our labs, refurbish them, and get them out, these computers have at least another 5 or 6 years of life in them.
What a gift.
Well, what's amazing is these corporations justified purchasing their computers for their employees to be able to say, hey, you can have an impact in your community, in the communities where your people work and live, just by giving those computers away.
Yeah.
Think about the impact of that. It's very compelling, I think, to a lot of these corporations.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing.
I know,
sometimes
and
when you just sit here and you think about that, because
That came from a little girl having dinner.
One question.
One
One
question that said, and then I love your responses. What do you want to do about it? Right?
Yeah.
Because as parents, I think, especially these conversations these days, like, oh yeah, right, you're right. There's a lot. My mother used to say to me, the fair is in October. And I couldn't ever figure that out until we moved to North Carolina. I'm like, yeah, she's right. The fair is in October. Because I was always the one that was saying, well, that's not fair. And maybe that's what probably brought me into social work is that, it's not fair. There's a lot of not fair out there. But you had the right response as a parent to say, well, what do you want to do about it? Which made her then think, well, what can we do about this? It's one thing to complain. It's another to do it.
Well, and we didn't know the answers to this.
Yeah.
Like when we went to that first elementary school in Davidson, we didn't know if it was going to be 554 as it was or 500. We had no idea. And so all of our work was up here in North Mecklenburg to start.
Yeah.
And then I got a call one day from the superintendent of the school system. Ann Clark was the superintendent at the time. She goes, oh my gosh, we're so impressed with what you're doing. But if you really want to impress us, come on down here to Charlotte and let's start talking about some of these high schools where the need is almost universal. And that got me excited. That got me so excited, in fact, I had been running a business for 24 years. I retired entirely from that business so that I could work doing this work full time. That's how excited I was about it. And it's been great.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
So if you're sitting in your car and you're listening to this show and you have any corporate influence at all, I don't know who you are or what you might be doing, but Pat, how would someone get in touch with you if they said, I can hook you up here?
Right. So our website, unfortunately, is a little bit tricky to remember, so I'm going to say it twice. It's e-2-d.org. e-2-d.org. And there's a donate button, and you can hit that and tell us what you would like to do. But what I will say is that I just talked about 5,400 computers from Duke Energy. We need 25 computers from the Macintosh Law Firm.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, we're not just, we get a lot of donations in from companies that can give us 10 or give us 100 or give us 6. We need every single one of them because when we get in computers, we have a heck of a chance of being able, and that's one of our mantras that I think is really important. Our mantra's always been, we're changing lives one laptop at a time.
That's right.
And we also, our other mantra is every laptop that we have in our lab, I can point to a single laptop and say, that's the laptop that could change somebody's life forever.
That's right.
And empower that person indefinitely. And if we take the work that seriously, then change will occur.
Absolutely. And obviously you have.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have, again, so much work still to do.
I agree. I think there's a lot more to be had. So in always looking for the technology and the computers, but what about, are there other needs? Like, do you have other people to hire in the labs? Do you need funding from our, other nonprofit partners out there? Tell us, what do you need?
Funding is very important. So we run these labs. We have over 100 students that work in these labs. Some of them work 4 hours a week. Some of them work full time. Even with these being donated laptops, the refurbishment costs can be anywhere between $150 to $200 of real costs. And so we do go out and raise money. We're the Lake Norman IT Professionals Group. They do a disc golf tournament for us. That's our big fundraiser that they do up in this part of the county. But we also get donations from individuals, from corporations, and from foundations. We used to get money from the federal government. That has evaporated entirely. Indeed. So we are pivoting, and we are finding new ways to have impact. And one of the new ways that we're very excited about is telehealth. Telehealth is a huge opportunity. There are so many people out there that just can't figure out a way to get to a doctor because of transportation, because of jobs, because of life. During COVID, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we did Zoom.
Here's a great example. During COVID, our little nonprofit, our insignificant nonprofit, we got a call from Atrium saying that they had 16 preemie babies where they needed to communicate with the mothers, and they didn't know how to do it. And could we possibly help them with getting them computers? That was telehealth.
Wow.
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Another break is coming. Whenever we have these great conversations, we always interrupted by our sponsors, but we have to pay for this show. And I hope if anyone from Macintosh Law Firm was listening and they have laptops to donate, they will get in touch with Pat or the studio. Again, 844-STUDIO-4. We're ready for your call. But when we come back, we are talking with Pat Millen with E2D, Eliminate the Digital Divide. And the website is up on the show. So if you forgot it, it's e-2-d.org. Got it.
The Oktoberfest. Call the 500 Club, 704-872-9990 for more information on entertainment, golf lessons, memberships, and tea times. The Piedmont Healthcare Friday After 5 Outdoor Concert Series is in downtown Statesville. The Party Parrot Band, a tribute to Jimmy Buffett, performs at 6 p.m. This free show will be held on West Broad Street in front of Mitchell Community College. Food and beverages will be available for purchase after 5. Bring your chairs and enjoy a night of free music at Friday After 5 in downtown Statesville. Mooresville's Festival of Food Trucks returns on Saturday. Over 15 food trucks will be on hand with live music by Dial-Up Radio. Bring a chair and your friends along Main and Broad Streets for the Festival of Food Trucks on Saturday beginning at 5 p.m. in downtown Mooresville. NASCAR's National Series return to Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend. The Craftsman Truck Series race will be Friday. The Xfinity Series holds the Blue Cross NC 250 on Saturday, while the Cup Series races the Bank of America Roval 400 on Sunday. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets and information.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, October 4th through November 23rd. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last, don't miss the Renaissance Festival! Huzzah!
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Real people making a real impact. The Macintosh Law Firm brings you community-centered, right here on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back, and just a shout out, thank you to the Macintosh Law Firm too for their sponsorship and the fact that we can bring some shine spotlights on some of our superstars in our community. Pat, during the break we were talking, Pat, about the 6 pillars that you focus on in your nonprofit, and I know over the 13 years that you've evolved, you've had to probably kind of have a little bit of a Nehemiah story, right? Rebuild the city, rebuild, and you then halfway through it, we get COVID and we have to rebuild again. So now I'm sure you've perfected the method, but you've added on probably another pillar of focus with the telehealth. But tell us about the other pillars that you have, that where you're focusing the need and the response.
Yeah, so our original pillar remains a very important pillar, which is Mecklenburg County. And I think about very early on working with the Ada Jenkins Center and Caterpillar Ministries and so many of the folks that, again, have that direct relationship with the clientele that we would like to serve. Mecklenburg County remains a huge focus for us. But almost exactly 1 year ago, what happened? Terrible hurricane. We have brought 3,000 devices we were there 8 days after the storm with our van with computers, bringing them to people whose computers had washed down the river. That work continues. Western North Carolina is going to take a long time to continue to repair, and we're excited about being able to continue some really good work out in Western North Carolina. Another one, is affordable housing. We believe that if housing is your greatest concern, that's really your alpha omega in any given day, is where am I going to live tonight, tomorrow, next month. once you're able to get into an affordable housing situation and secure that, then the sky's the limit. Now you've got that cement underneath you that allows you to sort of propel upward again. So that's really important. And just an example of that, we work with Habitat for Humanity throughout the state. And we were like originally going, all right, you put a refrigerator in there, you put a stove in there, you put in a microwave, you got to have a computer in every house. And so every new home built in North Carolina throughout the state has an E2D computer at its closing. We're very proud of that work. Obviously, we talked about our workforce development, hiring these students and training them. They all go on to amazing, amazing colleges and careers, and we're very proud of all of them and really invested. Another pillar that's really important to us is first-generation college students. This is a very exciting one for us because to be the first one in your family to actually attempt to and go to college is such a heroic leap for yourself and for your family. And yet only about 27% of folks who are first in their families to go to college are able to do that. There's a lot of reasons. Many of them are financial. Not having your own computer and not being able to do the work is not a good reason for not getting through college. So this year, we just gave away $1 million of free computers to first-generation college students in North Carolina.
That's amazing.
Clap. We need a clap button.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean,
we have one right here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
I mean, we literally were delivering computers 2 weeks ago at Johnson C. Smith all the way up to Elizabeth City State University, Chapel Hill, NC State. First-generation college students, so excited about the futures that they will become. And then this telehealth thing that we were just briefly talking about, the burden of a patient to getting to a doctor or a medical practitioner to get his or her care is so much on the patient, and it's so difficult in some cases. So to be able to have that relationship with a doctor, not every doctor appointment requires you to be poked and prodded.
That's true.
Sometimes you just need to show them a picture of your ankle swelling or of a mole, or they just need to say, how is your child's croupy cough? Is it wet? Is it dry? To not have to go to a doctor's office to interface with a doctor, to be able to do it on your laptop computer, it saves society millions of dollars to be able to do it that way, as opposed to having to drive 3 counties to get to your cancer specialist. There are so many ailments that can be fulfilled, not just a little bit, but completely by just having a face-to-face with your physician over a computer. This is a huge opportunity for North Carolina, and we're really excited about it because you know who's excited about it? The governor of North Carolina, the North Carolina Department of Information Technology, the North Carolina Office of Rural Health. We brought this to them, and they're like, yes, this is exactly what we need to be doing as a state.
I want to tell a quick story of a child that we have at Hope House who's 10, and he's nonverbal autistic. And when he came to his mom said, he won't talk to you, but, don't worry about it, whatever. So we gave him an E2D laptop that we had, and he can communicate now through the laptop with us. And I think about this often, what his life would be like living in community in a homeless shelter without the ability to communicate. But now he can because of this tool that we've given him that's opened up his world. His teacher is saying incredible things and, whatever. He's a whiz on the computer. He probably could fix or do whatever with it. But when you talk about life-changing, Pat, when you talk about, taking someone off the street who's lived housing insecure for so long, and then you hand them this powerful tool that we take for granted every single day, that they now have the ability to communicate. They now have the ability to search for a job, all of the things that they never would have had that opportunity before. It is mind-blowing to me that, it gets me excited about what this generous community has done, and the lives that have been touched, and the difference that you've made because of that work and because of the impact. And I think now too, Margi, of your kids in hospital that are just, just laying there. They need to communicate. They want to communicate. And let's face it, it's a phone or a laptop these days.
Well, I had one little girl that she couldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
All she wanted was a phone.
It is a powerful, powerful instrument that we're giving people. And I know, when some of the kids we've given laptops to before at Hope, I was like, oh, I can put Roblox on it now and I can do all the, no, this is not that, right? This is, yes, you can if there's space on it, but powerful things that we can do for our community.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And in a lot of cases, it's with stuff that people don't want anymore, don't need anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
One of our earliest groups that gave us computers, they were like, we were basically just sending them to a landfill. I'm going, oh my gosh. Think about the good that can be done with these computers.
Yeah.
Even companies that maybe resell their computers to a wholesaler or for pennies on a dollar, what we do with them is as significant an outcome with used computers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about empowerment, just like you said, Debbie.
Yeah.
And every computer can make that difference.
That's
and it came from one sentence. I love it.
Let's talk again about how people can get in touch with you.
So the best way is through our website. Again, e-2-d.org. Donate money, donate computers. This is a tough time right now for nonprofits. It's very difficult. With government money sort of going this way, it's put a lot of pressure on the finite amount of corporate and foundational dollars that are out there. And even though I think we do quite well, we punch above our weight, I think, in raising money that way, there's a lot of groups out there. Like I heard of a nonprofit the other day going, oh gosh, I feel like I need to be donating to them because I know how hard it is right now for nonprofits.
Yes.
It's hard for us, but we're going to make it. And we are digging into our core values stronger than we ever had. And we just have faith that this is going to work out. We're going to have to keep thinking and keep innovating. But if we do, I think we're going to continue to have great impact on the state of North Carolina.
I think you're one of the new levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're
no
there.
question.
You're there. It is definite a need, and it's an almost a mandatory thing that you have to have in your lifetime. Pat, we want to thank you for being a guest today and for the impact that you've done in our community, the work that you've done. I just want people to sit with those numbers for a minute to think about the lives that have been changed by just one question by a young lady who was curious, who wanted to make a difference in her community.
Boy, she has.
It's pretty astounding. And thank you, Franny, for asking the right question to the right parent. And I know you have a son too, right?
I have two. Three kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are they working with E2D2?
The youngest, Sam, is in college in Minnesota. My oldest son actually works with a homeless community up in Baltimore.
Okay.
Wow.
As a social worker up there.
God bless.
So, yeah, I love that all three of my children have a passion for serving others.
Yes.
I think that's incredible and makes a statement about you too.
Oh, and my wife, by the way.
Yeah, by the way.
My wife, Eileen, who works at Davidson College and works as much on E2D as anyone in this family, I can assure you.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you for the work that you've done. Thank you for making hope happen. And you've given us a lot of smiles today, I'm sure. And if anyone's listening again, please make a consideration of a donation to E2 Divide so that we can eliminate the divide in our county and in our state. Amen. And we will see you next week here on Community Centered. Thanks so much for listening.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W2